It's only going to happen again, isn't it? Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. 2020 season is finished, and what that does open up is the opportunity to do lots of videos covering rounding up the season. And one that I've been meaning to do for a long time, but I've held off because, of course, driver helmets are changing pretty much every race since they relaxed the rules, is my top 10 of the entire season. All the helmets of 2020. There's a lot because plenty of drivers switch it up every single race. You like Lando, for example. Sebastian always seems to have a new one. Some not as much, but there's still a lot of domes knocking about, all right? So here are my top 10 of the 2020 F1 season. The only rule I've got here is that only one driver can be represented in each part. So for example, say I loved all of Lando's helmets. He can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got to pick my favourite one and then rank that relative to my favourite of all the other drivers. You'll see what I mean as we go. I'm very glad I waited actually, because there are a couple of inclusions from the last Grand Prix, which wasn't a worldie, I'll be honest. The race itself was a bit boring at times, but the domes, the lids, pretty much everyone had a special edition helmet for the race, and George Russell's was very, very... His standard one's okay. His Mercedes special edition one for that one-off cameo appearance was nicer, if you ask me. But this one, the blue with the navy, the white pinstriping, dedicated to Claire and Frank Williams. George is a standout good guy. He just is. He has so much respect for that Williams team, and the helmet just slaps. Next, we have someone who I think a lot of people will rank a lot higher than I have put him. But for me, Sebastian Vettel, his Styrian Grand Prix helmet is the pick of the bunch. Seb's obviously got that base template of the white with the German stripe going along the top, which again, really nice, simple helmet. It's nice to see that kind of throwback retro version. And for the Styrian Grand Prix, they took like a topographic map of the area around the Red Bull Ring. And it's taken that base design and just adding that very, very subtle print to it that I just think it's a beautiful thing. It's one of the most elegant helmets for sure in this list. Number 8. Now, AlphaTauri are one of those teams where both Pierre and Daniel's helmets are constrained by the necessity you have to have the fat AlphaTauri logo on the side and on the top, which again, their base helmets, I don't think it does them any favours. But for the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi, Daniel Kvyat had a very special edition, which I love it. It was a fan-designed special created by Marina Perilishnaia, and it's inspired by kind of 20th century avant-garde Russian artists. Rather than trying to be something and just having that AlphaTauri slapped on the side and top, it actually kind of works with it. You know what I mean? They've clearly taken that into account, and it's created a very, very pretty helmet. And before we carry on, well, maybe you've got your own e-commerce helmet design and manufacture ambitions. Well, this is the video. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for many a year. When I dropped my 50k pins and my 100k posters, that was all on my Squarespace website. I'm using this opportunity to talk about more the e-commerce side of Squarespace because it's just so easy. The user interface makes it an absolute doddle to navigate, adding pictures, uploading descriptions, setting prices. Everything you need to set up an online shop is here and easy as you like. So if you are interested, head to squarespace.com via the link below for a free trial. Explore, navigate, do your thing, have a little play around. Take your time, all right? And then when you've got something you're happy with and ready to launch, use the discount code TOMMOF1 at checkout for 10% off your first website or domain purchase. You know, it makes sense. On to number 7, and we have Antonio Jovanazi. His lids consistently are banging. His standard one with the green and the white and the red down the middle. Lovely, lovely helmet. His Imola version as well was really nice, almost snuck in instead of what I've actually picked here. Super simple with the big circle kind of 90. For Monza, Antonio bought this absolute worldie, beautiful pastel kind of light blue. The detailing on the top, it's elegant, it's beautiful Italianness right there. Number 6, and we have one of my very favourite drivers on the grid, Daniel Ricardo. Now, Daniel's personal brand is lovely. He's got some great merchandise. I need to cop some at some point, really, because the hoodies with the free Rick, they're simple, but I like them. The fit seems decent. His dome is pretty Marmite, but for me, I'm very much in the love corner. You've got that base grey camo, kind of animal print camo, which is a really nice base to build on. The vibrant, as you like, threes, they're actually a 3. You might not clock that looking at them straight away because they just look like weird shapes. Whatever. Love it, Daniel. Although what I will say is that when he had the special edition one, which was more like a leopard because it added the beige and the brown into the background, I thought that was disgusting. Actually, I think the grey base is the contrast between the bright 3s and the grey subtle base works for me, and making that base bright just ruined it. But anyway, well done, Daniel. P6. Number 5, and we have Alex Albon. Oh, Alex Albon, fanboy, classic. Yeti, shut up. Look, Red Bull's branding just works, okay? It's a marketing powerhouse. There's a reason Red Bull are so big. That branding looks quality on whatever it goes on. Alex has had pretty much the exact same design throughout the whole season, apart from the very last at Abu Dhabi, where he got a cartoon version, which for me just elevated that little bit more. Even without the cartoon version, it would have definitely been in my top 10. Maybe not quite as high as this, but it's just lovely. Massimo Dante, or Mad56, has been designing helmets for Alex for years now. And if you want to see a bit more behind the scenes, check out Matt Amos' video where he literally goes and sees the production with Massimo. Great video. Number 4, and someone that, again, I think a lot of people would be expecting higher, still pretty high. I've gone Lando. We know Lando loves to mix up his helmet designs, whether it's the pizza helmet, whether it was the Mind charity helmet, whether it's the fan-designed Nori with the big S. He loves to mix it up, Lando, don't he? But for me, nothing quite beats the OG original helmet that Lando brought out at the beginning of this year with the bright neon and the blue. That's his template. That's the canvas that most anyway, of his designs are built upon. They all use those kind of same elements and those same base shapes. The standard template just slaps. I love it. It's so nice. And what I love even more is that, well, we know full well that Lando loves a bit of graphic design himself, so he's had a big part himself to play in this, more than any other driver would. P3. Now, Imola, we returned to for the first time since about 2005, 6, something like that. And of course, Imola has a lot of history, not all positive. And I wasn't surprised that we got a tribute to Ayrton Senna when we returned to Imola. And Pierre Gasly very much delivered. Like I said with Kvyat, having those enforced kind of compulsory elements from AlphaTauri is a shame, but Pierre's design was able to mitigate and work around that. And it just looks so sick with the yellow and the green. It's just a beautiful dome. And what made it even better was the fact that, of course, AlphaTauri are supplied by Honda at the moment. So you've got Honda plastered along there, which again, synonymous with Ayrton's time at McLaren. Beautiful tribute. Great work, Pierre. You're P3, mate. And here we are at number 2. Now, this was difficult. Between 1 and 2, there's very little in it for me. I initially put this one as number 1, and then I looked at more pictures and I was like, maybe not. But it's so tight. Honestly, I could give this to both of them. But for me, particularly impressive because of how quick the turnover must have been, Nico Hulkenberg. Now, when he filled in at the Nürburgring, he didn't have time to get a custom lid made for it because it was so last minute. But when he filled in at Silverstone, oh my God. Honestly, the pink and the white and the BWT blue just work an absolute treat together. The stripes with the kind of rising sun-esque kind of pink at the sides, and the Hulk and the blue again that just offsets, and it's such a nice looking. Should this have been number 1? I don't know. I really don't know. It's honestly, these both number 1, all right? And that leaves number 1. Who do you think? Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon I've gone for? It's the smooth operator himself, Carlos Sainz. He's had this fundamental helmet design for a while now, but it's kind of evolved, and it's, for me, in its kind of current guise, the standard helmet anyway, because he had a special edition again for Abu Dhabi, but in the standard kind of main guise at the moment, where it's got the kind of very, very dark grey matte with the black glossiness, beautiful base, just mean base, the bright red and yellow on the sides of the Spanish flag is just the way it's built and way it's really like plain at the top, which I like, and it's busy at the sides because again that contrast, it's so nice. If there was any mini version I could get of any of these helmets, which you can, but they cost an absolute dollar, it would be between Hulk and Carlos, but I think Carlos would just about edge it because that is just a wonderful piece of helmet design. Vamos, Carlos, my friend, you're P1. And there we have it. I've talked a lot, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support this year. It's just been a madness, isn't it? What a season. And of course, a massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. So drop a like if you've forgotten, because I always do when I'm watching YouTube videos, and subscribe if you've just been getting my kind of stuff recommended and haven't actually turned that red button to grey. I would massively appreciate that. Thank you all for taking the time. I do appreciate you. My name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.